Morning began with a letter she didn't send. Anna opened the HR draft. Crisp facts, dates, places. The cursor blinked like a metronome. She reread the first paragraph and froze. Ethan came out in a blazer, wearing a grin that betrayed a good night in too early morning. "Breakfast with partners confirmed," he said, pouring coffee. "They also asked me to sketch a Phase 2 vision. I think I'm actually in the circle that talks as if things already happened." "That's because you explain complicated things simply," Anna said, nudging a plate of toast his way. "Take some." He kissed her temple and left. The door clicked. Anna faced the screen again. The subject line demanded a formulation she didn't have time air for. She shut the laptop, as if the lid could cover the whole section. A packed day at the clinic. Lily intercepted her at the desk. "I saw your PTO draft for next week. Are you actually taking a couple days?" "Not sure yet," Anna said. "Might be on call." "On call isn't a religion," Lily muttered. "It's a schedule you can tell no." Anna stayed quiet. Inside she'd already formed a private creed. Scheduled lies. Overnight. Covering a shift. Emergency call. Words that once meant work and help now became shutters over a stranger's shadow. Midday short ride share to Ethan's office. She dropped off a lunchbox at the front desk, stood aside while he took it with a grateful smile. "You're my meatball hero," he whispered. "Without you, I'd be eating Dex." "Dex have no calories," she joked, "except for compliments." At that exact moment, her phone flashed. "Today, 8 p.m. No reschedules." She glanced the way you scroll past some bright post, then buried the phone. That evening, Anna set the house legend in advance. "They asked me to cover overnights," she said with practiced calm. "Lily's sick, I'll fill in. Back by morning." "Sure you're not overdoing it?" Ethan's look was careful, not suspicious. "Just care. I can get a car and pick you up if you run late." "No need," Anna said gently. "If anything, I'll text." The Astor took her in like a card table, no questions. With a familiar procedure. The meeting was shorter, drier. He spoke in lists. She answered one word. Before she left, he handed another donation receipt again for the teen center. "You mentioned rent," he said. "Let what matters be easier." "Easier isn't always better," Anna said. "Sometimes it's just quieter." He poured water. 2 identical glasses. 2 identical halves. Equality that looked like control. At the 24-hour market, she bought a candy bar to have, if Ethan asked about the shift, then took a taxi home. The lamp by the couch glowed warm. He left it on like a beacon. Ethan slept, arms flung wide, cheek flattened on the pillow. Anna stood in the doorway a beat, then went to shower. In the mirror, her wrist flashed the red line again, a memory no cream could erase. She slid on a bracelet to keep it out of sight. "Morning," he made omelets. "Overnight, okay?" he asked. Careful not to prod. "Okay," Anna said. "Lots of paperwork, few people." He smiled. "Tonight's a small dinner after the partner breakfast," he said. "If you're not on call, I vote wool socks and a terrible movie." "Deal," Anna said. And noticed, a terrible movie sounded like the best news of all. In social feeds, something odd happened. Under Anna's clinic photo, empty corridor, a cup on the counter, caption "Shifts erase time," came a like from Marta Cole. Then a friend request. Avatar, a calm woman with dark hair and an even smile. Background summer lake with a yacht. 2 kids. A dog that always looks right in magazines. Anna opened the profile. A neatly edited life. Birthdays, charity balls, school puts on a play, supporting the children's hospital. A row of mutuals, partners, HR, people always in the room. "Well," Anna murmured, touching the screen. What are you after, Marta? A casual friendship or a confirmation? She didn't accept immediately. She laid the request aside like a knife blade. Lily caught her in the hall. Your face says 10 question survey. Give me at least question 3. How do you tell when good is truly good? Anna said. And not just convenient. Good usually doesn't make you explain it every evening, Lily said. Convenient lives on a schedule. Anna nodded. That night she tried not to answer. Confirm? The screen stayed patiently blank. An hour later. Your husband shone at breakfast. We're moving. No pauses. She closed the chat, wiped the spotless counter, went to the window. The neighbor fed his dog a biscuit on the porch. Somewhere teenagers laughed short and bright, like a ball off concrete. Ethan came home pleased and exhausted. They asked for my notes in writing. You know what that means? He tossed his keys like a kid after a good grade. Not just nodding. It means we want to keep and discuss. It means they need you, Anna said, and admit it. We also talked comp with HR. He added, flushing as if confessing something intimate. They'll consider. Don't want to jinx it. And I keep thinking about the house, how to do it without dumb risk. Anna listened and tried to understand why the word consider cast a stranger's shadow. Marta's profile flashed in her mind, like under her throwaway photo. Perfect vacations at a lake. Anna realized she wanted to be that tidy, calm, correct shot smiles with no caption conditions. You're unusually thoughtful, Ethan said, sitting on the arm next to her. If it's overnights, cut them. I can email your boss about not scheduling you for 2 in a row. Don't. Anna softened. I've got it. He touched her shoulder. I see how much you do. For me? For us? Even when you're quiet, I feel you at my back. Thank you. Those simple, honest words weighed more than any threat. Anna smiled and leaned her cheek against him, as if pinning reality. At night, Friday, 7:30 p.m. Confirm. She ignored it. 20 minutes later, your pauses signal risk. Immediately after a social notification, Marta Cole sent you a message. Anna opened it. Good evening, Anna. I saw your clinic photo. Our fund often supports similar programs. I'd be glad to meet coffee, if convenient. G. The signature wasn't Marta, but G, a letter leaving too many options. She reread, typed would be glad, deleted, typed which fund, deleted. Finally, thank you for the interest. I'll check my schedule and propose a time. Sent. Her phone flashed again the same nameless number. Great idea, coffee. Some questions resolve better in daylight. Anna closed both chats, set the phone face down, paced the kitchen, measuring thread. On the fridge their budget sheet, on the shelf his Director of Strategy badge, set aside until the official announcement. She looked at the badge metal reflecting the lamp, her silhouette, the table's edge. Thoughtful, the curtain stirred night draft, or the thought that someone stood outside. Anna pulled the fabric tight to the frame. Her thumb hovered over Marta's confirm and stopped. The screen went dark, and in the room's quiet, she could hear other people's abacuses click 1, 2, 3. The morning brought precise politeness. Message from Marta Cole at 9:02. Anna, could we meet in the city today? Half an hour. Coffee's on me. No emoji, no filler. Signed Marta. No longer just a letter, Anna replied. Yes, 1 p.m. the cafe by the park behind the glass pavilion. Immediately regretting the speed, decision ahead of thought, she closed the chat and dove into the clinic's list, as if work could cancel a scheduled conversation. Lily handed her a folder. Did you have breakfast? She asked, then added without waiting. You look like I can present 300 slides as long as I don't talk to one specific woman. Bullseye, Anna said, Coffee at 1. By noon, Manhattan was a chessboard where all the pieces wanted to be queens. The Park Cafe clinked cups and chatter. Marta arrived a minute early, sat with her back to the light, so she wouldn't squint, slipped off gloves slowly, like someone used to allocating time. Anna, hello. A voice without strain, a correct smile, slim watch on her wrist, phone on the table, face down. Hello, Marta, Anna said, feeling an internal metronome start. Don't justify, don't rush. Hold your line. Drink orders landed quickly. Marta cupped her mug. I looked at your clinic project, she said. Volunteer programming, yes? It's a rare place where money turns into help, not just reports. We try, Anna said. People need help more often than they need thank yous. Marta smiled with her eyes. You're not from our trade, she said softly. In ours, thank yous are sometimes currency. Speaking of currencies, Garrett likes investments, not only money. He believes that if you invest in the right ties, the system pays dividends by itself. Anna set her cup down carefully to avoid a ring. Is that why you wrote? To discuss his portfolio? I wrote because you're smart, Marta said, as if that was an explanation, not a compliment. And because I like to understand flows. Garrett can do useful things, but sometimes he does them for the effect itself. That's, she searched the word, dangerous for people nearby. Dangerous is when you see ice and step on it anyway, because it's pretty, Anna said. Then the cracks become the whole pattern. Marta tilted her head, considering the sentence from another angle. Fair. Tell me, Anna, if someone at your clinic helped too loudly, would you stop them? Not because help is bad, but because it turns into control? Anna held her gaze. I'd ask them to name the price out loud, she said, and make the choice with the ones it's for. Secret bargains aren't support. Then you understand, Marta said, wiping a spotless rim with a napkin. Sometimes you talk before everything becomes official. After that, everyone lies to themselves that it just happened. Anna's mouth twitched. You here to say stop? I'm here to say, be careful, Marta answered. Ice is beautiful, true, and it's fast. But if there's a river under it, the river takes its due. And Garrett hates when his actions get turned into morality. He prefers them turned into a report. Then maybe we have different documents, Anna said. I have a story of people. He has a story of metrics. Marta nodded. Checked the time. I should go. She stood and added without a smile, I'm not your enemy, Anna. Not your friend. I'm an observer with levers. If you want one pulled your way, tell me. Preferably before the ice cracks. Anna sat another minute, just enough for her empty mug to cool, then stepped into the light where the park acted eternal. Her phone buzzed. Unknown? Hope the coffee was good. We meet today at 7 p.m. Important decisions accelerate. Anna didn't answer. She crossed on the green, though she'd have made the yellow fine. She had time for everything required of her that was the curse. Back at the clinic, a new envelope in her drawer. Donation receipt, same hand, same sum, this time with a postcard of a neat footbridge over water. On the back, supporting what matters means not stopping. Beautiful anonymous world, Lily muttered over her shoulder. Someday those anonymous will queue for a handshake. You sure you're okay with this? I'm sure we need the money, Anna said, voice thick. And I need the truth. She sealed the envelope. Inside, it wasn't card that rustled, it was her own fatigue. At dusk, Ethan texted, Home by 6, we'll do a mini celebration. I'll slip out early. And Anna caught a ridiculous thought. If happiness could call in advance, you could book it on a calendar, like a doctor's appointment. At home, he really arrived early with a fancy deli bag. Guess how many times people said at a strategic level today, he said, arranging the boxes like a curator. 12. I counted. Twice in reference to me. Anna laughed for 5 honest seconds. They debated the list of unbearable corporate words. Then Ethan opened his laptop and showed a clip from today's brief. His voice steady, gestures clean. See? He asked, like a child with a drawing asking for praise. I really can do this. I see, Anna said. And it's you. He leaned back. Sometimes I feel like I take too much oxygen in this house, he said quietly. You carry so much home. Clinic. Me. I promise. When this sprint slows, we'll break. I want quiet with you. Anna almost said today, but the words stuck. Her phone trembled in her pocket. 7 p.m. confirm. She muted it. Deal, she said. Quiet is where I'm always ready to go. Later, while Ethan showered, an email hit her personal inbox. Subject: Preliminary Decision Director of Strategy, Ethan Mason. From HR Automation to the Board HR, GCG Cole. Anna stared as if the words might change shape. Intent to appoint, timelines, public announcement after the pilot. Below responsibles, deadlines, checkpoints. Everything he dreamed of. Everything she. A text followed from the same nameless number. Mail arrived? Congratulations to you both. See you tonight. Anna closed the laptop. The lamp's reflection, her face. The familiar kitchen with fridge magnets stared back. She heard Ethan step from the bathroom, water scattering across the floor, domestic noise that usually steadied her. Not tonight. Anyone writing? He asked, towel over his hair. Hope not the clinic. You look like someone who saw 3 reports. System email, Anna said. About your role. Thoughtful. Looks like everything's headed there. He paused, a light switching on inside, and smiled wide, shadowless. Then we just have to finish the run. Not trip at the finish, yeah? Yeah, she said, and realized the finish is where you see most clearly what you ran on. He whistled an old indie tune, blow-drying his hair. Anna opened the window for a little chill and checked the phone again. 7 p.m. confirm hung like a demand. She slid it to snooze 1 hour. Reply came instantly. No reschedules. The room was quiet. Only the letter on the table sat like a brick offered to build a new step on the ladder. Anna touched the Director of Strategy badge metal, answered cold. She wanted this thing to belong to Joy, not this. Her phone blinked once more from her work account. Receipt confirmed Director of Strategy, I. Mason. CC, G. Cole, HR, several directors. The list of names became a mirror of power where she saw herself only as background. She slowly shut the window and dropped the latch. Night hadn't begun, but the house dimmed. In that dim, Anna finally shaped a thought that felt level. You can't give someone success at the price of their choice and expect a thank you. A short, double-car horn on the street. Her heart jerked, but she didn't look. She turned on the kettle instead. Waiting on a boil felt safer than answering. Ethan paused at the kitchen entry, watching her. He didn't know yet, but he was already standing near the line, after which words move planets. The official email landed in the morning like a calendar sunrise. Board resolution, preliminary. On appointment, Director of Strategy. Below internal ceremony date, a template, congratulations. The line badge issued. Ethan stood by the mirror, squaring his shoulders as if trying on a new posture. I think it's happening for real, he said, smiling uncertainly like someone afraid to touch a snowflake. I'll come home early. Let's do something nice, without pomp. Nice without pomp is our brand, Anna said. I'll get cheese, basil. That lemon tart. At the clinic, the day stretched like a string. Lily said something about corporate birds of happiness, then stopped at Anna's look. If tonight is one of those checkmark evenings, she said gently, don't carry someone else's guilt home. Parties taste better without it. Midday, Anna's phone pinged. HR Hall, 4:30 p.m. Internal announcement. Then Ethan's photo. A white box with a snug lid, printed with his name. Caption: haven't opened it. Waiting for you. She hearted it and set the phone face down. A minute later, nameless number. Don't forget to smile. Cameras like to write stories. Anna stepped outside for air, bought 2 cupcakes with white frosting, and refused to answer anyone else till close. At 4:40, their office doors opened. People made space and Ethan walked in with the box like a miniature trophy he was still shy of. He set it on the table and lifted the lid. Inside, badge on a magnetic clip, silver director of strategy, and a thin strap to pin to a pocket. The box smelled of fresh print and something else expectation. They want a quick photo for the protocol, he said with an apologetic smile. But I want us to have our own first look. Anna raised her phone. Simple shot. His hand, the box, a slice of table, light crossing the word. Perfect, she said. From here, it's you. That small from here, it's you struck the wall where someone else's arrangements had been rustling. They set a simple dinner at home. Salad, pasta, lemon tart on white plates. Sam swung by with a cheap congrats. Card and a ballpoint. I bring officially approved pomp, he declared. Minimal gloss. Maximal honesty. Stay, Ethan said. I want this with 3. You're part of the version of me that made it here. They argued who overused the word strategy, debated the best pizza in New Jersey. At some point, Sam leaned back, looked at Anna, and dropped the jokes. I'll say one thing and go, he said. Truth is like iodine. It burns but heals. If you love him, tell him. Lies will kill him worse than truth. Anna looked away. Ethan didn't notice busy flipping playlists between old indie and jazz. Sam hugged them each and left, leaving air on the porch smelling like a rain nobody had forecast. Alone, Ethan lifted the badge, traced the engraving, and set it on the table's edge, not center, not showy, a thing that needed to sit near to become theirs. I don't know what's next, he said softly, but I want to walk there with you. I'm here, Anna said, and heard how scary the word sounded now that it was a currency. He poured them a swallow of bubbles, not champagne, but honest fizz, clinked and laughed. Tomorrow I'll repay all debts to the universe, he said. Tonight, can I just stare at this piece of metal for half an hour and believe I did it? You can, Anna said, and he did for half an hour sometimes, shifting the badge from the table's edge to the center and back, as if testing where it would live. Late, while Ethan showered, her phone pinpricked. Friday, 9:30 p.m. Last time costs more. You know why. Then, press announcement not finalized. Will keep it clean, no noise? Anna squeezed the phone until her knuckles blanched. Typed. Last time. Stopped. Deleted. Typed again. Last time and done. For good. Sent. Ethan returned. Towel on his shoulders. He turned on the floor lamp. A warm pool broke the shadows. He sat and took her hand. Promise me one thing, he said. When the press, sprinting late calls, start, promise to tell me if something's too much. Don't store it. Don't later. Say it. Her throat narrowed like a bottleneck. I promise, she said. And it was a truth she didn't yet know how to keep. They cleared the table, primed the coffee machine for morning, killed the living room lights. Ethan fell asleep, fast fatigue, finally catching him. Anna lay beside him and watched darkness until patterns appeared where there were none. Her nightstand phone trembled. Message. Tomorrow, 9:30 p.m. Astor, 17th floor. Door will be open. Bring quiet. Same terms. Outcome cleaner. She stared like at a contract placed among family photos. Typed no. Deleted. Typed yes. Deleted. Fingers hovered. In the hall, the fridge clicked. Tiny domestic usual that normally sets the world straight. Not tonight. Anna turned on her side. On the chair the box gleamed. Ethan had put the badge away so it wouldn't scratch. The metal glinted in the half-dark. She picked up the phone and wrote, "Last time." Then HR. Sent. Reply near instant. The last time is always a test. Are you sure you can carry your truth? Anna set the phone face down, touched the box lightly, as if touching a rail already humming with an oncoming train, and couldn't tell which lights shone ahead, his new title or her own fork in the track. Last time, her phone said. Two simple lines in the chat like parallel rails. Last time, and then HR. She looked at them again by the Astor elevator and slid the screen into her bag, as if shutting a lid on something beyond return. The 17th floor room met her with that special quiet where you can hear water has weight. Garrett stood at the window as always, half turned, jacket on the chair, cufflinks no shine. Looked direct, no longer assessing, more like checking a delivery. Terms unchanged, he said without greeting. Time limited. Terms change, Anna said. Today is the last. After this you disappear from his orbit. Completely. No I'm near. No photos. No be in the room. Funny, he smirked. Are you sure your words change the structure of floors? But I'll indulge you sometimes it's useful to give people the illusion of control. Anna didn't answer. She hadn't come for illusions. They exchanged few words more like a procedure. Depersonalized. Exact. Punctuated coldly. At one point, his hand lay over her wrist again, confident as a signature. Anna looked at the glass. Down there the city moved, blind to any deals. When it was done, he poured water. Exactly. Half and half, as always. The evenness grated. Equality that equalized nothing. Now the promise, Anna said. Not taking the glass. You leave him alone. Don't touch, don't watch, don't press, and you stop with the donations that are map pins. You take support too literally, his brow ticked. But since it's the last, have your music. I take my hands off his trajectory. And you don't place new hurdles, she added. Nowhere, in nobody's report, not by a half tone. You're exacting in your endgame, he said. I like precise players, but I'm afraid the finale isn't entirely ours. What do you mean? She tensed. Literally, he said calmly. The world is a system of weak ties. They gossip louder than you think. Are you sure he doesn't already know? The words slipped into her like a thin, cold blade. Anna didn't answer. She took her blazer, the keycard, hung the bag on her shoulder. He'll hear it from me, she said. Tonight. You romanticize truth, he sighed. Truth doesn't set you free. It just forwards guilt to a new address. She was at the door. Fine. At least the address will be correct. The hall's carpet softened her steps. The elevator fell too fast, as elevators do when you want them slow. Downstairs she took a cab and watched her face repeat in shop fronts one long ribbon of the same features, while the blocks cut into suburban frames. The house was dark. Not night dark deliberately switched off. A darkness like closing your eyes when you don't want to see. On the entry table lay the white HR box. The lid had been shifted. Beside it an orderly stack of printouts. Rideshare receipts to the same address. Astor. Calendar clips. Private. A screenshot. Her phone on their kitchen counter. Pop-up. Today. 9:30 p. Another sheet, the preliminary decision email, with G. Cole in copy. Ethan stood by the window. No jacket. The badge in his hand. The floor lamp cut his shoulder with a diagonal shadow. He didn't turn at once, the way someone finishes the last line of a familiar book but can't remember opening it. Tell me it isn't true, he said evenly. Just say it. Anna stepped, stopped. He held the badge like it weighed more than metal. E. The word found no place. I did it for you, to make him stop, so you'd get what you deserve. He smiled, thin, heatless. For me? For me you chose the price I'd live with? For me you put in my report what doesn't belong there? He was crushing you, Anna said, the taste in her mouth turning bitter. Every day I saw you come home and knew without leverage nothing would shift. So you picked a lever, Ethan said softly, wedged it under us, and pushed. See how high we've climbed. On the table, her phone lit and dimmed. Anna's eyes flicked, then snapped back to him. I stopped, she said. Today, the last time. It's over, he promised. He promised? Ethan let out a laugh with no joy. And you promised me you'd speak when it got too much. Remember? Funny how easily we trade promises when they're priced in someone else's silence. She reached for him. He stepped back half a pace. The badge flashed. Don't, he said calmly. I don't want you to touch me right now. I have that right. Get hit like cold water. Anna lowered her hand. I'll go to HR, she said fast, as if thinking might fray. Today, I'll tell everything. I'll sign anything. Let them strip him. Let it all collapse. I didn't think you'd find out like this. I wanted from me. I don't care how, he cut. I care what. You decided for me, for us, for him. You gave away what you had no right to give. For what? This piece of metal? He lifted the badge, read the letters, lowered it. I'd rather fail than rise like this. Anna nodded slowly. Her eyes stung not with tears, more like a film that makes things strange. I thought love is. She searched a word that wasn't an excuse. When you do the impossible, so the other is better. Love is when you don't take away someone's decision, Ethan said quietly. Even if you think theirs is too right or too wrong. You took my right to lose, honestly. They stood in the kitchen they'd built together on weekends, choosing this shelf higher or leave it. What had felt solid turned into furniture you could spin against the wall with one move. Ethan set the badge back in the box and shut the lid with his palm closing a book he wouldn't reopen. I'm crashing in the guest room, he said. Tomorrow. He paused. Tomorrow we'll talk. If there's anything left to say. Ethan, Anna yerked toward him. Please. No. He said it softly, as if no was also care. No please tonight. Just quiet. He took the box and passed her. Stopped at the door frame a beat, as if testing whether the house would hold a new load. The door closed without bang, but the sound ran through the house like a hairline crack in glass. Anna stayed in the kitchen. On the table, printouts like small glaciers, white, cold, thin, dark lines of proof. On the fridge, their joke budget line, argue and make up with its silly amount. Her finger traced the line and understood she'd never read that word so heavy. Her phone vibrated thinly. Nameless. Clean work. Congratulations. No signature needed. Anna stared and for the first time felt genuinely calm at one clear action. She deleted the thread, then blocked the number, then gathered every donation slip into a big paper folder and hugged it to her chest, like X-ray films on the way to a doctor. She sat and wrote not to HR, not to Marta, not to him, to herself. Short lines. I chose. I violated. I justified. I stopped. I will tell the truth. Bullets stacked, each with exactly as much air as needed, not to choke on meaning. Behind the guest room door, no sound. Silence held like a wall. Anna lifted her head and saw her face in the freezer's shine blurred, like a fingerprint on glass. She shut her eyes and exhaled. Morning would come anyway. He to a world where a badge opens doors. She to a world with no more whispering. She touched the box metal, neither warm nor burned. And for the first time, she thought the real last time hadn't been at the Astor. But here, the last chance to keep this between them. The hall clock ticked. Night, like a report, turned the page. Morning slipped in quietly. Ethan was already dressed jeans and a sweater, not a suit, and set the kettle on, acting as if it were a usual day. On the table a note. Sam can put me up a couple nights. Beside it the spare house key they kept for in case. Anna came into the kitchen, words jammed between her throat and shoulders. "Can we talk?" she asked, as if it could be added to an agenda. "We can," he nodded, briefly. He looked a few years older, not haggard, just sharper focused. Eyes not sharp, but firm. He poured 2 mugs, didn't sit. "I'm going to Sam's," he said, calm. "For now. Then we'll work out the legal. I can't live here." Anna wrapped her hands around her mug, trying to warm not the tea but the thought. "I'm going to HR," she said. "Today, I have the record, messages, slips, dates. I'll sign whatever's needed. Do what you think is right," he said. "But don't think it brings us back. I won't live with this price, even if the receipt gets torn up. Her voice wavered. "I thought it was love. That love is hurting yourself. So the other is better." "Love is not hurting someone by taking away their choice," he said. "Even if you see yourself as a rescuer, you took my no off me and set your must. Now this house speaks with your voice, no matter how I keep quiet." They stood 2 steps apart, unable to find a bridge between them. Ethan took a small overnight bag, shirts, charger, notebook. He touched the badge box carefully, like something hot, and still took it. "This is mine," he said rough. "But not ours." Anna nodded. "Let me do one thing right," she asked. "I'll call your mom, and Sam, I'll tell him you're coming." "I already texted Sam," he said. "I'll call my mom. She asks questions in a way that's better answered by me." He zipped his jacket, squared up. No habitual slump posture of a man learning to live fast. "Anna," he looked up. "You're a big part of who I became, but the way it happened, I can't sleep and wake the same with it." "I know," she said. "And I still wish knowing didn't arrive like this." He nodded, picked up the bag and box. At the door, he glanced back like someone checking all the switches. "If you go all the way," he said quietly, "don't do it for me. Do it for you. So there's at least one yes in this story that's yours." The door closed without a slam. The silence after had a different weight. Anna stood in the hall, listening to the house retune. The fridge click, kettle boil, clock ticked the same, and not. She returned to the table, opened her laptop, and brought up the HR draft. She read the first sentence aloud, stitching it like a seam. "Iana Mason, request a meeting to make a formal statement regarding the conduct of a managing partner." Her fingers moved faster than her thoughts. Places where she used to set periods carefully she set firm now. She added at the end, "Prepared to provide evidence and give a recorded statement." Sent. The phone blinked almost immediately. "Received 4 p.m. today. Confidentiality assured." Anna closed the laptop, took the folder of slips, and gathered Simple Things' wallet, keys, Lily's blue pen that signs tough papers like postcards. She shrugged on her coat, tore down the joke budget strip, argue, and make up the paper ripped jagged, a white fringe. She didn't trim it. On her way to HR, she messaged Marta. "You were right about the ice. I'm going to the people who hear words before the crack." Reply came dry. "Be careful. Documents over emotions. If needed, I'll pull a lever." She didn't write again. The HR conference room smelled of pen ink and glass. 2 women sat across from her, one with a perfect bun, the other with glasses that softened the gaze. Anna spoke steadily. "Not drama. Not him divided by me, facts. Dates, places, messages. She paused for water, wants to frame how support became control. "We'll record your statement," the woman in glasses said. "And if you agree, ask you to sign consent to participate as an external witness. It will take time and be unpleasant." "I know," Anna said. "I have facts and a reason." She signed. Her hand didn't shake. Evening. The house met her with emptiness over order. She hung up her coat, walked to the kitchen, left the overhead off, and set the kettle. On the table stood the blender box, now empty. Anna pulled last summer's ice cream photo from a drawer and pinned it to the fridge next to the torn budget line. She realized sometimes the cost of a promotion isn't money, but names at different addresses. Her phone blinked once the calendar pinged for movie night at home. She turned it off and cracked the window. Cold swept in. A car murmured below. Night quieted. "For myself," she said aloud. "Not for him. For myself." And that, finally, was her yes. Months passed. Spring in New Jersey was not generous, but busy rain scrubbed dust without always leaving a rainbow. At the clinic, Anna shifted roles, training coordinator for new nurses. Less rushing, more clarity. The volunteer program grew either thanks to new donations or the stubbornness of people for whom support is a verb without quotes. The HR investigation moved slowly, like all things layered with power and lawyers. Anna was called in 3 times to clarify, reconcile, confirm. She brought the folder, Lily's pen, patience. On the 3rd meeting, the attorney said carefully, "Your materials are significant." Then, "We can't discuss individuals, but actions will follow." Actions did. No press burst, no headlines, just a line one morning in the reorg's email. G. Cole, leaving the company by mutual agreement. 2 dry phrases beneath about contributions and thanks. A new name below his. Anna read it twice, closed her laptop, and allowed herself a small not relief, not joy. More like level quiet where a transformer used to hum. She and Marta didn't meet again. A short "thank you" came the same day, and I knew the ice was thinner this year. Nothing else. Sam helped Anna change the curtains and move the bookcase into the living room. "Spaces love a reset," he declared, and quiet without lying. Anna set the shelf so morning sun touched the spines. Bottom, caregiving, psych, the history of philanthropy. Top, the little cactus she and Ethan had kept stubbornly surviving the winter. She liked that it continued to grow, as if nothing had happened. She saw Ethan once at a notary's, where paper smells like forever. He came in a gray coat, reserved, closely cropped, thinner, his look honest and far. "How are you?" he asked. "Working," she said. "Learning to listen again without making plans for people." He nodded. "I'm at a different firm," he said. "Lateral move. Smaller title, more meaning. Moving to Philly. Starting where there's less echo." "That sounds right," Anna said. "I wish you—" She found a word that wouldn't be cheap. Peace and joy when it arrives without conditions. "You too," he said. "And thank you for the truth. Late, painful, but right." They signed, said goodbye without a hug. At the door, he turned and said what might have been sitting in him all along. "I don't accept your sacrifice, but I see your resolve not to repeat it. That matters." He left. Anna stood staring at the closed door for a moment and felt that the word "end" can be written finely and clean, without a heavy dot. Summer. She went with volunteers to the teen center, the one whose anonymous receipts had once covered rent. A plaque now listed all donors, no anonymous. Anna ran a finger down the names and smiled to see at the bottom. Team of Northridge Clinic fundraised. Small common sums held the ceiling as well as any one big invisible hand. Evening. On her porch, the neighbor's dog leaned against her calves like always. The sky was simple and clean. Her phone didn't text, didn't demand, didn't confirm. It sat quiet, like a tool that no longer steers you instead of your own step. Anna opened a notebook, wrote a one-line. A sacrifice without consent isn't love, it's violence against yourself. Pause. Second line. Love is sharing decisions. She shut the notebook, breathed in the grass smell, and went inside. Tomorrow a cohort of new nurses would arrive. She needed to print schedules and write a talk about the ethics of support. No big words, clear examples. Scars speak softer than slogans, and those who are ready to listen hear them. The house felt peaceful in a new way, not because nothing hurt, because hurt had stopped running things.